policy governance, student ends, and funding school infrastructure. The Des Moines School Board has a busy agenda in 2008, and we'll learn more about these issues from the chair of the school board. It's coming up next on Classroom Connections. Hi, and welcome to Classroom Connections, a public affairs discussion on issues important to students, teachers, and parents in Des Moines. I'm Phil Roeder, Director of Community Relations for Des Moines Public Schools. As long as there's been a school district in Des Moines, there's been a school board. And as long as there's been a school board, there have been a number of important issues facing these elected volunteers. Joining us today is the current chair of the Des Moines School Board, Dick Murphy. There's been a lot of talk lately about policy governance, and kind of at first glance it sounds like it might be the name of a textbook for a high school government class, but it's really a lot more than that, about how the board conducts its work. Tell us, in a nutshell, what policy governance is.
I like to take it down to three words, Phil. Results, and by that I mean that the school board sets some results that we would like to have achieved in the district. We then ask the staff to achieve these results. We separate what the board does. We don't try to achieve the results. We govern the achievement of those results. So we want results, and we set those and ask the staff to achieve those results. Accountability is the second word, and accountability is the process that we use to monitor the progress that the staff is achieving in trying to achieve the results that we've set. The third word would be communications. During the whole process of policy governance, we have to continually communicate with our community. So we've set up a linkage committee that will be constantly going to community groups, asking them for input on our results, on how things are going, so that it's another form of, the communications is another form of helping us to set our goals as well as monitoring our progress.
We of course have a lot of viewers on Channel 12 who watch the school board meetings every other Tuesday evening. Under policy governance, are the board meetings going to be different? Are they going to see reports or actions, things from the board that might be new to the process that weren't the case a year ago or 10 or 20 years ago?
Well, I think the newest thing that they'll see will be monitoring reports. We have set some goals, our end statements, which I'd like to talk with you about a little bit later, and then some limitations on the staff, management limitations, governance limitations, and so forth. The superintendent will be reporting back to us how those are going and whether we're in compliance with what we've set. So probably once a month we will get a monitoring report on certain aspects of our policies.
Okay. You mentioned the end statements. I know last year, late in the year, there were a number of meetings held around the community to present these to the public. What are the student ends? How are they different than mission statements or goals that probably every other school district in the country has?
Well, our end statements were developed with a lot of community input. We had thousands of either surveys or telephone calls or focus groups or forums held, and thousands of people gave us input. So these are definitely community ends. Of course, we have the achievement ends, which are reading and math and science and social studies and the arts and so forth, that we expect high achievement and high output and progress in those areas. But we also have thinking ability, creativity. We have one of, I think, our important goals is how well do the kids work together? How well do they understand the world that they're going to be working in? And when we talk about that world, it's not just are they going to go to work in Iowa, but they can go to work anywhere in the world, and they need the skills necessary to do that. So one area, I guess the academic achievement you could call grade point or something, and then The communications, the work development, so forth, you might call your work point. And another one might be your people communications points. I don't know, but we're trying to have students achieve in all of those areas so that they will have successful lives as adults.
Where do the ends go from here? I know the board has not yet formally adopted them. Are there more opportunities for people to have input? Is the board going to be bringing these up sometime in the near future?
Yes, actually, the board has developed these ends. We have done a lot of communications with the public, and this is the 5 ends that we've come up with those. I kind of summarized them a little bit. Now we're taking those ends back out to community groups through our linkage committee to have those community groups comment on the ends that we've developed from the input that they gave us. So it's kind of like, this is what we think you told us you wanted us to do. Mm-hmm. Look at this, tell us whether it is, and if it is, then that's what we're going to do. Now, I don't think there will be major changes. There might be some tweaking of the ends, but we have had thousands and thousands of people give us input on those ends. So people might see they're not working, then we may have to change them as well. And we will continue to receive that kind of input through our linkage committee.
Sure. I know anybody watching that wants to find out more about the ends, of course, can visit the school district's website and download a copy and see for themselves what they're about.
Sure, they're there on the website, and they can download them and look at them and